reviewing and unboxing the SIVGA Luan. Sorry if I said that wrong. Just want to say thank you, SIVGA, for sending this one out. It is a very nice box. Very excited to try out this wired studio headset. I believe it is open back. I'm just gonna open this box up just like this. Here we go. First look at the Luan. Okay, never mind. We have a pouch that just looks like a butt. Honestly, does not look great. I mean, it's probably, oh, it is very nice material, but now I'm just booty. I don't know how no one said anything about that, but that's a miss. In the butt pouch, which is very nice. That was it in the box, by the way. There was nothing else. Everything's gonna be right in here. And there she is. And must I say, she's looking pretty nice. Oh, she almost fell out. Okay. First impressions here, let's take it out. Very thin top. I was expecting like a rigid or thick top, but I guess I didn't do my research. But this is just this very thin padding at the top with a metal band above it to make sure, I guess, your head doesn't crash into metal. Very minimalistic style. The padding is very, very resistant and succulent. Like, it absorbs my finger and it like fights back. It's like a really, really nice memory foam pillow. All metal material as far as I can tell. Granted, it doesn't feel like extremely sturdy. This way it's lightweight, but it still feels like if I drop it, this thing is not going to break. At the bottom, we have our dual-sided headphone jacks. Let's try it on real quick. Let's feel the cushions live. Did I just push it? Yeah, you just gotta be really aggressive, honestly, with this right here to close the band. It's kind of difficult without taking it off. Does this thing feel comfortable and plush? It feels borderline weightless around the ears. You feel all the weight like kind of outside the padding a little bit on the bottom, but for the most part, like around and near the ears, it's very comfortable and I don't feel any padding on my ears, and I have pretty big ears. I don't feel the metal headband at the top. I just feel this resting on me, so maybe that's like a size problem. Let's see, maybe if I like tighten up the size. I'm trying to do it without taking it off, and seems like now I could feel the metal a little bit more. No, I can't. So it seems like no matter what size you have the headset on, it actually, your head never hits up against that metal band. And it is simply there for structure. So do not be fooled. It is very comfortable. It almost feels like nothing's at the top. You're almost like just strapped into this helmet. So very interesting build. No boom mic, as you can see. So this is for the studio person, the professional, the gamer, the higher echelon gamer who wants to be above the normal gaming brand. But I'm looking down because we have this nice pouch. Everything has a nice aesthetic for sure. Cable reveal. We have a 1/4" 3.5mm jack adapter. This elegantly coiled braided cable strapped in. It's a very lightweight wire. It seems like 4 feet or so, maybe like 5 feet. Does not seem 6 feet. The wire on this one has a left and a right specifically for your headphones. There's a 2-ring stereo jack at the other end for either your PC, but ideally you're gonna want like a preamp or some sort of amplifier. Very fancy cable, like there's this metal part to this, some sort of like gritty metallic texture that somehow still feels smooth. It's all very well thought out. Every piece at least is considered, especially the box. But we're not gonna try out the sound on the unboxing. That will be for the review, but we will plug in the wires here. All right, so this is what it's gonna look like with the wires in. They are built in a way where I really don't feel them touching my neck. If I move it, I do feel them. So that's kind of the annoying part of these type of designs. But I guess if you're in it for this, you're probably looking for sound quality over the annoyance of having a wire that really has its intended purpose on each side. So to each their own. It would have been nicer to get a longer cable. That's probably so far the biggest unboxing drawback I have seen, is maybe another 3 feet or so. Sorry, audiophile nerds, for a longer cable. Other than that, this has been Mark unboxing the SIVGA Luan headset. We are going to review it, give you all of our opinions, and test it out through and through. So thank you for watching. Stick around for the review. For those seeking more than just a gaming headset, behold the Luan, a wired open back solution by SIVGA. If you're like me, you may not be familiar with this brand as it seems relatively new to us in the US. However, for those looking to expand their horizon, those with a pre-powered amp solution, the Luan packs an unexpected punch at $299. It's not perfect, and it may not have all the bells and whistles like a typical gaming headset, but still, the SIVGA Luan has me listening to music more often again due to its enriching audio experience. Let's unpack that. The SIVGA Luan comes preloaded with 50mm dynamic open-back drivers, which lie entirely over the ear with plenty of space, even for my big ears. In terms of weight, it weighs approximately 0.78 pounds with the majority of the weight distributed around the ears. In this case, since the headset stays on your head due to an intense clamping pressure, the Luan feels like a memory foam pillow on your head with seemingly no feeling of pressure or pain, even over 8-hour sessions and beyond, simply because the padding is so plush. Additionally, the headband serves as a very thin, retaining strap in this case, as the rigid grip with the plush padding absorbs pretty much all of the pressure points. It feels like almost nothing is on my scalp, but it does a great job at messing up my hair, I will say that. The frame and body continue to bring luxury with real metal and real wood on the ear cups. In this case, SIVGA puts effort into matching luxury comfort with its look and feel, and both black and brown Luan color options are great choices. The Luan's carrying case, although well made with a premium zipper and leather-like materials, is a bit of a hard miss simply because it looks like a butt. I'm not sure how they missed this, but this case is just too awkward to carry around, and it's just laughable. Anyway, being the Luan is a wired-only option, the provided cable is also very short. Any shorter and I wouldn't be able to route this wire to my desktop amplifier comfortably. It will never reach my PC backport at all, not that I plan on using that, but the cable length on a rigid wire-only option seems cruel. On the other hand, the cable is made with love and care, offering a strong and thin coiled braid with metal accents, and a textile finish where the wire meets. It doesn't go unnoticed. The downside to the split left and right cable design of the Luan, besides its lacking aesthetic, is that my sweatshirt or baggy warm clothing often gets caught up when I turn my head on these wires, but this is a trade-off for performance. Having a dedicated wire for each channel and ear can improve sound separation, amplification, and overall fidelity. However, I'll revisit this topic. Other than that, the contents of the package are rather simple, providing a 3.5mm to 1/4-inch audio adapter and a nice pouch. To start the performance speak, the SIVGA Luan is generally a fantastic sounding headset. With its open back design and 50mm drivers, the soundstage presence takes center stage, no pun intended. When it comes to music, especially when listening to lossless quality downloads, every sound, blip, and instrument stands out with a directional quality. The panning of sounds between the ear cups is distinct yet doesn't muffle over directional effects. Everything sounds so clear. Sound separation is crucial for us gamers as well, as it enables us to fully immerse ourselves in the game while also staying competitive, hearing enemy footsteps, and music cues. I can say that the Luan not only reinvigorated my interest in listening to music during the day, but also turned games that were otherwise stale back to life. Games like Arc Raiders sound cinematic, full, and engaging. Every robot seems that much more threatening. The form factor of the interior of the cups play a crucial role here, as it perfectly surrounds the ear within the confines of the padding, allowing sound to travel in and around my ears. This is necessary for top-tier surround sound, as the Luan delivers tenfold in terms of spatial sound and directionality. When it comes to the lows, mids, and highs of the Luan, the bass can use a bit of help. Although in specific music genres that employ heavy bass, such as hip-hop or EDM, the bass is lacking in response. It could be a crossover issue, but sometimes it just feels lacking for this price of headset. At other times, the bass kicks in clearly with a deep punch that ties in nicely with the well-sounding mids and high range of the Luan. In this case, it seems like the Luan is intentionally focused on distinct mids, highs, and sound clarity through directionality, but the bass is there to supplement its strong suits. When the bass is present, it sounds reverberant and wet, but it lacks a bit of strength when pushed to its limits. The Luan also has a low attack, where the sound almost has a natural delay or travel time, thus softening the tone for a warmer, richer experience. To keep it simple, we compared the Beyerdynamic DT1990 Pros, which are somewhat of a default of the wired open back market. Although the Beyerdynamics have a much more powerful bass presence, the SIVGA Luan wins in terms of soundstage and clarity and comfort. With the Luan, sound separation and distinction between instruments are more noticeable, while also having a higher gain floor than the Beyerdynamics on the same hardware. If you prefer electronic music or heavier genres, you may be willing to spend double on the Beyerdynamics for $699. But on that same note, for $299, the Luan is a nicer set of headphones for most music listeners. I did not use any software EQ and instead tested the audio directly off of the HyperX audio interface and the Complete Audio 6. The SIVGA Luan is overall an excellent headset for those looking beyond the consumer market. Granted, in the wired-only studio headphone space, the sky is the limit in terms of price, and at $299, the Luan is barely scratching the surface. That's not to say the Luan impresses with sound staging, dynamics, mids, and treble tones. Above all else, this set of cans is a delight to wear on your head, offering top-tier comfort. The plush ear cups bring a smile to your face every time you wear them. The bass tones are lacking, but if you aren't a bass head, the Luan is a great choice to consider if comfort is also a top priority. Noisy Pixel is giving the SIVGA Luan an A-. Truly standout comfort is what lifts the score up, as it is an expensive item for most, but user subjectivity and sound taste could drive a customer to opt for cheaper options. Thank you for watching. Noisy Pixel is a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all of our future content, and go to patreon.com/noisypixel to see our monthly magazine and other news. Thank you. I'll see you on the next one.
Noisy Pixel.